All right, what up, YouTube? We're back with our weekly talk show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about because we got a whole bunch of rules today. Like, tons of new detachments, and all these new data sheets finally came out. Brothers, and we got a special guest on today, Raymond. He likes AI. He likes to do
I
AI
do.
and Warhammer.
I do.
So he's going to tell us about some cool AI stuff after we deep dive into some of this new stuff. So you guys know what I look like, so I'm gonna pull the browser over me this time. And all right, guys, what do y'all want to talk about first with the new business?
I'll start with at least the admech and Tau stuff. So Tau being the easiest, like we got the nerf we deserved on Twin Lance. Like you get the reactive move only if you were eligible to fight, which is what it should have always been. You also they went up to 185, I think it was, because like being 160 was way too cheap, and a lot of people already complaining about like how much they cost now still at 185. I think that unit is probably about where it needs to be. It's still very good. I think every version of Tau can use it, every detachment. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's that for Tau. For Mechanicus, we got our new Skitarii detachment. I like where it's at in the world. I like giving my Skitarii Lance on the charge. Rerolling ones to wound in either doctrine is not, or hit, depending on which doctrine you're in, is nice. But I still can't see myself not playing Halo's Creed. Halo's Creed has every tool that Army ever wanted, and then some. Not to mention, like, I just get advance and charge, I just get fallback shoot and charge, I get the buffs to my breachers or destroyers I want, I get all the Skitarii help in the world. I get all access to the most utility detachment rule, +2 move, +1 strength, or +1 toughness, correction, um, stealth, or advance and charge. Just all around goodness. Thalia, our new character, she just feels like a worse version of Call in every aspect other than her profile. Her shooting and melee is just slightly better than Call's generally, but like her Primarch rule, it's just not there. It doesn't do anything that Skitarii couldn't already do, and it gives me a little bit more flexibility with them. But like as my centerpiece, like command model, that's not what I want to bring to the table. Like I want to see like a sufficient benefit to my army. Like, would you rather just give a unit advance and charge and shoot, or both doctrines, or just give your whole army oath? Like it seems like an easy argument there.
All right, let's back it up to
Uh,
just a minute. So you're saying, can you not take her and call?
no, you can.
Okay, how much points is she?
Uh, I don't think they have. I think hers. I think she's slightly cheaper than Call, if I remember correctly. She's like 190, and he's 200 or 210.
I just saw somebody posted that like letter about their admech points were too high.
Oh yeah.
So I guess she's pointed high.
She's
People think, well,
210.
or she's 210. That's what it is.
She's the same, actually. She's the same as Call.
Yeah, that's what it was. She's the same as Call, which
I mean, she's
isn't great or terrible, but like I feel like
she's
the
along high.
detachment. Yep. You don't just
High
read out like
cost.
her whole thing is basically
Yeah,
she's Call, but she has Skitarii focused abilities. That's basically it.
she does Void Dragon mortal wounds to vehicles.
Mhm.
Is that all though? Well, whatever. I don't understand some of this. See the next page.
Yeah, you get a Primarch ability.
Okay, okay. She got to pick three.
Yep.
Let's see what she got. She's got 6 inches. Get both doctrines. 6 inches. Fallback, shoot and charge. 6 inches. Shoot and charge and advance.
Yep.
So, I mean, uh,
But are those auras or pick units?
That is. So the double doctrine is an aura.
Mm-hmm.
The other two look like pick units.
Yep. So the double doctrine is good because it is a aura. The other two, like either Skitari or this new detachment, I can get those abilities. So I have no reason to bring her and not just get Oath from Call. The double doctrines is nice though, because then you get assault and heavy, you get +1 weapon skill and bliss skill, +1 AP on all your guns as long as you're near battle line, and then -1 to be hit in combat as long as you're near battle line. So the double doctrines is powerful.
She is no twin lance.
No. Not by a mile.
But
No.
who is, brother? Who is? All right.
But yeah, the detachment itself, it has some decent strats. But by just looking at it, I feel like I'd rather just bring Call than her. She has a better profile, like for her gun and melee, but like beyond that, I don't see her making money.
Turn the breachers into Skitari. I don't know.
That enhancement is
What is
pretty
that?
strong.
Then you got the slap marshal. I don't think that people would take that, but can the marshal can't lead the Sicarans, can he? He can't go in.
I don't remember.
If they made him
He
go with
might be able to. He might be able to, and if he can, like the
Rangers and Vanguard.
yeah,
He can lead
Did Sealer do that
Rangers
one
and
time?
Vanguard.
Yeah, I think Sealer did that for a while, a long time ago.
All right, fair enough. Let's take a look at. I won't spend too much time on these guys. Let's take a look at the other little homies. This is 2 separate data sheets for the gun dudes.
Yep.
Next,
Based on which profile you want to pick.
Next, can you tell us how many points these guys are?
Certainly. What are they called again? I got it up.
Hashtari Exterminators.
Yes.
I think they're 100 and 110.
The Exterminators are 135 for 5, and the Fusiliers are 145. So it's 10 points difference. 135 for the Exterminators, 145 for the Fusiliers.
Why are they complaining about the points? That don't seem. That's about as much as a Noise Marine.
Yeah, people are complaining that they should be cheaper. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, they only move 5 inches. They're a little slow, but they have a 5 up invuln, 2 wounds. This is the Fusilier. They ignore cover on monsters and vehicles, and they shoot a las cannon. That seems
Yeah, that seems real good.
That seems yeah, that seems okay to me. Can they go in the Dune Rider?
Yeah, the Dune Rider can take infantry.
Is the Dune Rider open top? I think it is, right? I can't recall.
That would be crazy.
Then this other gun, okay, so the Exterminators have sustained hits against everything that's not a monster vehicle, and they're anti-infantry 4 at a 512 or 522, depending on the range. And they have a vehicle gun with anti-4 dev wounds. I guess the sergeant probably gets that.
No, you can take all or one or the other.
Okay. So these guys can be anti-vehicle guys with dev wounds or anti-infantry guys.
Yep.
I mean,
what admech needs more of. It's anti-vehicle.
We're not enough, bro. We need more anti-walker, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, they cost more. Technically, they cost more than Noise Marines because you get 6 Noise Marines, but you can also take 6 units of these guys. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Seems okay to me.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Dune Rider is not open top, by the way. It is firing deck 2.
Well, That's not as cool then, I guess. Do these guys I guess these guys only take up one spot though?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, the Marshal can lead these guys. I don't know what he does, but I don't remember what he does, but
That's what I thought. It was in their data sheet that said he could lead them.
yeah,
Marshall gives them reroll hits, which is the money.
This side of
there
this
you
is
go.
probably not
Okay,
up to date yet.
that's pretty dope. They can only go in 5. They can't stack into 10s, but it's still pretty dope. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be complaining if my faction got that, but that's cool. That's just me though. I play some shitty armies. All right,
True.
man. Dude, they got dicked on so hard with the Land Raider. All right. Next we'll hand this one off to you, dog. We'll go and talk about knights.
Oh yeah.
I know
Talk
you
about
got thoughts.
Kniggets. I got so many thoughts. I got so many thoughts.
All right, well,
All right, so we got Freeblades back, which
hell,
I'm very excited about.
hold on. I do want to say one thing next before you get started.
Mhm.
It's
Sure.
kind of bold. This is the 3rd edition in a row where we
Mhm.
got Freeblade DLC. They need to come up with some new shit and give us free blades at the beginning.
I would love to have Freeblades at the outset. I love Freeblades.
It's always the best night thing when it comes out
Always.
at the end of the edition. It's always like 2 or 3 months till the edition's about to go. Free blade.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
Yep. Which is hilarious because our token leader is the Freeblade guy. Like Canis is the Freeblade guy, and we just don't ever we focus on all these houses throughout the edition, and then we get Freeblades at the end. So Freeblades are back, much to the chagrin of the entire 40k community. Apparently, from what I've learned today. Detachment rule: we get Feel No Pain 6+ back army wide. And on our start of our command phase, each knight gains 1 wound.
Hell yeah.
In my opinion, this is a bit of a non-detachment rule because knights generally are going to go from 100 to 0 in a single phase most of the time. So regaining 1 lost wound is not really anything that excites me. I've also played through the entire index with 6+ Feel No Pain, and the 6+ Feel No Pain, you get to scam a wound here and there, but it's not really saving you. We don't have the upgrade to 5+ if we're honored in this detachment. We actually don't get anything for being honored in this detachment, which is fun. But that's the rule. 6+ Feel No Pain's back, and we regain a wound. Enhancements.
It's definitely better than your detachment rule being like, don't stand on this line, or I'm gonna do something to you.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe.
There's the line could do some fun things sometimes, but no, yeah, it is nice to always have a thing and not have to jump through any hoops for it. It's just you get it and it's there. There's absolutely value in that for sure. Enhancements: we get Mysterious Guardian back, which is amazing. Night players rejoice. It is exactly the same as it used to be. You gain Deep Strike, and you can arrive via Deep Strike, and then you can up you down at some point in the battle. Beautiful. I think it was pointed at like 35 points. Very high, but very valuable. Makes sense. Sanctuary. Imperial Knights model has a 5+ invulnerable save all the time. Always good. I mean, nothing bad to say about that. That's wonderful. Bringer of Justice improves the attack characteristics of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2, and then each time they make a melee attack, +1 to hit. 30 points, if I'm remembering correctly. It's very good. I think that it will boost a hybrid knight, like a melee range knight. It will bring him up to the point that he's putting out a decent amount of melee output and will actually be able to get himself out of a jam. You can put it on the Gallant if you ever wanted to take a Gallant. I don't know that this. I don't think Gallant stocks have gone up, so I don't know that that's a thing. People are talking about putting this on a Destrider. In my opinion, that brings the Destrider to 280 points, which is crazy
You
expensive.
not put it on a Lancer?
You could put it on a Lancer, which would be lovely. The +1 to hit, well, I guess if you're bracketed, it's not too bad at that point. Lancer is still probably the best place. Either the Lancer or a Hybrid Knight, I think, are the two best places for it. If you really have 30 points and you really want to spend 280 points on a Destrider, I guess knock yourself out. But I feel like that is too much for that chassis. And then Hunter's Eye, ranged weapons equipped by the bearer have Ignores covered. Ignores cover is great.
Phenomenal.
It is only getting better in the new edition from what we're hearing. So solid suite of enhancements. I don't think there's anything here that's bad. I don't know that there's even anything here that is absolutely required, but they are all good. Strats, we have Noble Sacrifice, which is so close to what I wanted. It is explode on a 4+, explode on a 3+ if you're an Armiger. I would love to have auto explode back. It would make me so happy, but I will take 4+ explode because there is still plenty of times that is worthwhile to try and go up in flames. Always good. We have Strength from Exile. If your knight is alone on the battlefield, basically, if he doesn't have a friendly unit within 9 inches of him, he rerolls hits of 1 and he rerolls wounds of 1. Very good. It is very common to not have friends nearby. So we're good there. Love it. These are all 1 CP, by the way. I should probably say that. All 1 CP.
Can you remind me next? You get one free. You get 1 free hit or wound reroll from the army rule.
So if you take the reroll rule, you get 1 reroll to hit and 1 reroll to wound every time you activate.
Okay. This is still a great strat, though.
No, absolutely. Then we've got, because what that's going to put you in is there's a billion times that you're going to roll 5 attacks, you roll a 1 and you roll a 2. You get to reroll the 1 for free. You use your knight reroll on the 2, and you're in good shape. Full Tilt is a good one. Basically, it is auto 6 to advances it's auto 6 to advance. If you are an Armiger or a Destrider, it is 9 to advance. It is worth noting that Destriders do not have any way to advance and charge in this detachment, but they are going 12 plus D3 plus 9, which is very good. Both of their guns are assault, if you roll them that way. Armigers can have a Lancer buddy that bondsmans them to be able to advance and charge, and then they are moving 12 plus 9 and charging. So that is hilarious and fun. We have Point Blank Barrage, which I love as a stratagem. Anytime you have a potential to hurt yourself doing something hilarious, I am a fan of it. Basically, what this strat says is you can fire blast weapons in melee. It gives you the Vindicator rule, essentially. As long as you're the only thing in melee with it, friendly, that is, you can fire blast weapons into close combat. Fantastic.
I'm firing my laser.
Fantastic, phenomenal. Notably, Canis Rex has blast on his guns. The Atropo has a blast gun. Thermal cannons are blast guns. Volcano lances are blast guns. There are plenty of opportunities to be able to take advantage of the stratagem. The one catch is for every unmodified hit roll of a 1, you suffer a mortal at the end of the resolution of the shots. Absolutely love it. There will be dozens of times that you will want to do this, regardless of whether or not you are going to take damage from it. It is great because there are so many times that somebody's just like, I'm going to charge you just so that then you're locked up. And this stratagem doesn't have a fallback and do stuff strat. So now you just say, okay, I will just blast you at my full ballistic skill. Maybe I'll take a wound or two, but you will die. Absolutely love it. We have Survivor of Strife, which is your opponent's shooting phase. It's only in shooting, but it is basically -1 to wound if strength of the weapon is greater than your toughness, which knights will absolutely love because that's where the bulk of anti-knight fire is going to come from. Everyone I know will know that I preach that the best way to kill knights is with 2 damage bolters at this point that have reroll to hit and +1 to wound. But
No, it's the anti-walker weapons, bro. What are you talking about?
It's also really great to not take 12 damage from a laser destroyer or a hammerhead railgun or whatever else is going to do that amount of damage to you. And then last but not least, this is a strat specifically for armigers. It is 1 CP. If you have an armiger within 9 inches of a battlefield edge at the end of your opponent's fight phase, they can leave the board and go into strat reserve. It is always helpful as a Knights player to have a way to threaten rapid ingresses or even just coming on the board during your, somewhere that your opponent doesn't want you to be. So that is very good. Yeah, so that's the new detachment. I think it's really good. I'm a big fan of it. It brings back a lot of stuff that we used to have that we're missing, and puts together a good package. Notably, no rotate, so we don't have any invuln buffs, but that's okay. We've grown used to not having it, so we're okay.
I mean, I would argue that the 5-up all the time is better than a 4-up only in shooting.
No, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the 5-up all the time is the majority of the reason people have been spamming Atropos for as long as they have. Also, the incredible melee profile, but 5-up all the time is very valuable.
How much points is Sanctuary?
That is...
It's 2025.
Yeah, it's something like that. All of the enhancements are...
I thought Mysterious was like 30, or no, it's the attack one that's 35 or 30 or whatever.
Mysterious is 35.
Yep.
The +2 tax is 30. Ignore cover is 25, and 5-up invuln all the time is 20. So fairly costly enhancements, but again, for what they provide on the things that it provides it to, I think they're okay.
Yeah, 5-up is cool in melee. I mean, it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing. It also gives you the opportunity to play something like a list with like a couple of Lancers, Atropos, and then you put in a Crusader for, a much higher ranged output, and then give it that enhancement. It's like, oh, everything on the board has a 5-up all the time at least. So it's probably a good way to build a list. I haven't messed around too much yet, but if you like Atropos, anyway.
I've been looking at it, man. I might put a little night on the table for till the end of the edition.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I do, and that's something that we've been kind of missing.
All right.
But other than that, we got the new Destrider. I don't know if you want to talk about that now.
Oh shit, I forgot about
if you want to put it up on your...
Yeah, I had pulled up the Chaos Knights. Let me back it up. I can't believe I want to buy one of these guys, and I totally forgot about him. Just like,
yeah, we got a new unit. I don't know who was asking for this unit, but we got a new unit.
I mean, I like it, man. I think it's like a big knight, but 150 points less.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm of the opinion that this knight will get much better in 11th edition. There's something on the way that's going to make this worth having. As I'm looking at it right now, I'm not super excited about it. You can make a Lancer go just as fast and will be a lot more durable and a lot more reliable. You can make you get much... If you want to go shooting, you get a much more reliable shooting platform out of a Crusader. And I think that the 150 point reduction, like it's not as good as it should be for 250 points. Let me just put it that way. Like, I feel like I'd rather take other things than this at 250, or certainly than this at 280 if you give it the melee enhancement.
This is the ultimate Mach-Ka night, though.
It is, yeah, and that's
if you
and
put
maybe again.
if you put
Go ahead.
guns, I just realized that both the guns have assault. So I was
Yes,
wondering
both
why
of
they
them have
wrote.
assault.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why they wrote the full tilt strat, and now I see that they both have assault. So you could go 20. You could go 24 inches for 1 CP and just dump a hot load on somebody.
You certainly could. The problem is that 6 AP1 2 damage shots just don't do damage. Like, Gatling cannons have proven, Imperial Knight Gatling cannons, let me say that. Imperial Knight Gatling cannons have proven that Strength 6 AP1 is not the way. Paladins have proven that Strength 10 AP1, 3 damages can often fall entirely flat. So I don't know. I think that 11th is going to unlock something in this guy, so I am going to buy them. I'm not buying the new thing, but I don't know.
I'm buying the
not.
new thing on them. They got me, man. They got me on with
Also, what is the spear doing? Somebody tell me what this spear is doing, because
it's Lance.
It's Lance, but
it's a spear.
So, like,
they gave it Lance.
I don't know. They gave it Lance. They gave it less attacks. It is otherwise exactly the same profile. I
don't know what it's doing, to be honest.
I don't think I'm ever swinging that weapon, honestly.
I mean,
and at toughness 10, like, knights are folding like chairs at toughness 11 with 10 more wounds than that, and better invul saves. So,
but he's got a 6-up filter pain now.
Yeah. So do the other ones. Justin.
That's gonna carry him, man.
I don't know. Maybe. Like I said, I think 11th is gonna unlock something here and maybe I'm just not seeing it, but nothing about this sheet excites me.
He's got 21 wounds in Freeblades, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many other things I would have asked for other than this, but
I mean, it's not what I would have asked for either, but it is cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's a gorgeous model. I'll say that. It's a gorgeous model, and I will build a couple of them, and we'll see what happens.
I just want to make believe that I'm playing Mach-Ka and just throw this guy 3 feet.
Yeah, well, that's when you play Gate Warden Lance and you give them +3 to their move and the ability to charge.
Is that the line, though? I gotta walk the line.
It's the only strat you need. It's the only strat you need, because you don't need to be on the line. You spend 1 CP, you give 2 Destriders +3 to move. They move 15 base plus D3, and then they charge whatever you want them to charge.
I like him. It was like would I buy this or would I buy Defilers? And I like this better.
Oh, I'll buy these any day of the week over
like
Defilers.
These things look like they'll be good for a long time, like you're saying, especially like next edition.
Yeah, I think 11 is going to unlock something for them, and I look forward to it. Truly, I do. But right now, I'm just not sure. I gotta test it. Got to put them on the table, as they say.
All right, let's knock out this last night thing. This one, no new unit in Chaos Knights, so
no.
But they do got a lot of cool dogs. All right,
yeah, I really like the new Chaos Knight detachment, actually.
This is a pretty cool one. Yeah, I'd be excited if I had CK. It's called Hell Hunt Lance.
Yep.
So if you have 2 dogs in your Big Knight aura, then your Big Knight gets the aura.
Yes.
So, I don't know what any Big Knight auras do, but if there's any cool ones, it sounds good.
There's one that's going to give +1 AP. There's the The Despoiler one, most notably, is the most useless because it gives +1 leadership, +1 OC, I think. There's one for +1 AP, and then there's one. Oh, I can't remember the other one. None of them are huge. Like they're none of them are like game breaking. There'll be some things that are nice to have. What it's going to do most notably is it's going to make people take other big knights. And so we may see a shift away from just double Despoiler, double Lancer, Atropos, and then some demons. Maybe.
The War Dog guy at Cherokee made it far with
Yep.
the War
Yeah,
Dog.
I think he only lost one or two games.
War Dogs are great.
He
For
lost
sure.
two. He lost 2 games because I got him. But
Mm.
but it was a really tight game. I mean, like the 6 stalkers scouting, he basically did a mock call. Like I asked him, I was like, "Are you just mock calling everybody?" And he was like, "Yep." And I was like, "No wonder you're winning, man, because that shit was brutal." Like
Yeah.
six stalkers in your face on turn 1 is like basically what mock call is doing.
Yeah, it's oppressive for sure. I think the key in this detachment is going to be in 2 stratagems.
All right, let me hit touch on the enhancements right quick. We'll just speed through this guy's the other stuff too. They got reroll, advance and charge. They got
It's force of battle shock
shoot
is what
back.
it is.
Okay. There's a lot of words for nothing that sounded cool. Make auras better in your command. I just got to read this to understand it. It's stuff to do with auras. I still don't understand it. I read it. I don't understand it.
You can double stack auras basically.
Okay. All right. Feel no pain against mortals. Sustain hits. They got armor of contempt.
Yep. Flush the Quarry, I think, is going to be one of their new big ones. Like basically what this says is if you have a Titanic Knight, you spend the strat on him, and the strat affects up to 3 war dogs that are within 6 inches of him, and then
Damn.
all of those war dogs can ignore walls. So if you stage up a big knight behind a ruin, and you've got some dogs next to him, you spend 1 CP on that knight, and then all 3 of those dogs get you just phase through the wall. And that is ridiculous. And I had a conversation with somebody earlier today that was like, you're only going to be able to do that once per game. And I said, it doesn't matter because you only need to do it once per game. Because if you pop through a wall if it's your go turn, you're going to have other avenues for things to move forward, and you get 3 guys through the wall. So you have full committal on your entire force, whereas previously you're gonna end up a little bottlenecked on a turn just because of the way terrain works. But if you got everything in your army taking advantage of the open lanes, and then you send 3 dogs through walls, you don't need to do that again because you have either won or lost the game. Probably, like that's gonna decide what's going on. But that I think is going to be a huge strat for this detachment.
Yeah, that was really good in the index. So when they could do it to 2 knights or 2 babies.
Yeah.
So, that's a good one. They got fallback and shoot and charge, and they got a blood surge. So
Yep.
that's pretty cool. Maybe that'll do something for them. We'll see if it makes Kale excited.
I think it's gonna be cool.
We did admech. We did. I think only thing left's the Defiler, right? Or all the CSM stuff.
Well, there's CSM detachments, there's a Marine detachment, but I will be honest with you, and I have not looked at any of that stuff today.
There's a Marine. Of course, there was a Space Marine detachment.
Of course, there's a Marine detachment.
How could there not be? I didn't even, dude. I wouldn't even be. Okay, it's highlighted red, so I wouldn't even know which one of these is the new one. Ceramite Sentinels. Is it cool?
Like I said, I haven't. The one thing that I saw about it is very 11th edition coded because it gives a keyword for being in terrain
Oh,
called
yeah.
entrenched. And then if you are entrenched, you get bonuses. So it is very much the stand around in ruins detachment, I guess. Like I said, I haven't had a chance with talking about night stuff all day and working.
Let me check it out. I got it pulled up here. It's called Ceramite Sentinels. It has adaptive defense. Is the army roll. Each time a Stardust model makes an attack, if it's within a terrain feature, reroll a hit roll of 1 or and reroll a wound roll of 1. So, and models from your army gain entrenched keyword while all of the following are true. It's within a terrain feature, not set up on the battlefield this turn. No model has moved more than 3 inches this turn. So it seems like maybe like they're trying to do like an Imperial Fist type thing. Oh yeah. It says Sons of Doran in the flavor. Okay.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yep. They got. You can make a Gravis Captain come back to life with full wounds on a 2-up. Fall back and do an action or shoot and charge when you fall back on a unit. Ignore cover on a unit. And looks like a redeploy. Let's check out the strats right quick. +1 OC in the command phase. That could be good sometimes. Reroll wound roll against character monster vehicle. That's 2 CP for infantry or mounted.
It seems high.
That does seem a little high.
I think my girls may be killing each other. I will be back, hopefully. Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. You are good. So then the other 2 strats, the other 3 strats key off of entrenched. They got a reactive D6 reactive move that you can reroll if you're entrenched. Take sustain or lethal, or it looks like both if you're entrenched. Fight on death on a 4-up. +1 if you're entrenched. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's all the.
Yeah, you go ahead, Seth. You there, bud?
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, I was saying, yeah, you go ahead and tell them about it. That, or what you think about that, man.
About the entrenched one?
Yeah, did any of that tickle your
No,
fancy?
I think it's all pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's pop over to CSM. CSM got the the Vashtor detachment.
Yep.
Okay, so stuff that vehicles, Disco Lord, Vashtar, get Soul Forge, so that's a really complicated way for them to say basically all your vehicles get a 5-up invuln and the demon keyword.
Mm-hmm.
Which doesn't do anything much for the Disco Lord or Vashtor. They have a CP farming strat. or not, those are enhancement. You can make something that's not one of those as soul forged.
Yep.
You can do strat or an enhancement for crit 5s, so that's kind of cool.
It's
Model
really good when you
item.
got your Hellbrute nearby, so you get sustain and lethals on 5s.
Yeah, that one, that's a pretty good one. I don't know how the points, but 3 inches to the bear's warp smith. So I guess you can heal or do whatever a warp smith does at an extra 3 inches. This is pretty cool if you like to run the tanks or the
Demon engines.
the Vindicators. I think the Demon Engines already have a 5-up, but I don't think any of the
Yeah, all the
Predators.
vehicles. Yeah.
I wasn't really
I-
excited about it, but
Funny enough, you get your Land Raiders.
get your Land Raider. I mean, this looks like a good detachment. I'm not saying it ain't, but I didn't particularly like it. You can get both effects on. They have so 1 CP. This is for the crit 5s, I guess, too. You can get both dark packs.
Yep.
So that's pretty good. To improve the shooting or fighting, a Soul Forge can be +1 AP. That's pretty good. Shooting or fighting, this is all Soul Forge stuff. Model makes an attack, character, monster, or vehicle. Reroll the wound roll. So that's also that's a 2-banger right there, but could be good on something with a lot of guns, I guess. We got heal D3 in your command phase, heal D3 or a flat 3 if you're a Soul Forge. So I guess if you're gonna have a Warp Smith, maybe you could heal up a lot of wounds if you manage to not die. Eligible to shoot. This is shoot when you advance or advance and charge for 1 CP. And add 1 to the toughness characteristic of models in your unit. So this could be a good detachment. I'm not sure. I don't play much of the tank based CSM, so I don't know if it would be better than Packbound or not, but
I mean, I think so. Packbound's like +1 to wound, but like you're taking more of a risk. This is more of a safer bet, and also it gives you access to invuls for vehicles that would not otherwise have invuls, like we were saying with some of the base CSM vehicles.
yeah, I think Preds. I think it's kind of a non-issue for your Vindicators as long as you position it to have cover. But I think the Predators are on 3-ups, so that would probably be a big deal maybe for them. Can scam. All right, let's pop over to the Warp Strike Champions. This is Hey Dog, do you like Terminators? And so this detachment buffs Terminators, Obliterators, and Mutilators, which we didn't touch on we hadn't got to the data sheet yet. Mutilators are 200 points, so god dang. I don't know how many of those we'll see on the table, but Terminators could be pretty dope. This lets you up down, so you become a Grey Knights basically.
Mm-hmm.
You can up down 2 units, so it's Hypercrypt for Terminators. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. This detachment might be cooler than I thought. Enhancements, Rapid Ingress for free. Model with Deep Strike and reroll charges on the turn it's set up. All right. Deep Strike on turn 1 enhancement. Tag Tazagdula. That's a cool name. That's a cool made up word, but I don't know how to say it.
I don't think anyone
Tazagdula.
does.
Improve strength, armor, penetration by 1 if it's set up on the battlefield. Improve the damage. This is just a model though, so Is it working melee? Until
I
the
mean,
end
I
of the
believe it
turn.
does.
Oh, okay. Model with deep strike. So this detachment really wants you to try to make 9-inch charges, I guess, because if you rapid ingressed it, you wouldn't get this bonus. The only way that you could
Yeah.
get this enhancement is if you bang a 9-inch charge.
Yep.
Let's see if they have a way to make that easier. If this detachment is, or if the enhancements are, you're gonna save points on the enhancements. All right. You got a lot of stuff. Okay, so this is the first time we've seen this wording, I think. They have Armor of Contempt, but it specifically says you can't stack it with any other strats in the same phase. So
What 11 is going to. So these are the 11th edition detachments for this.
yeah, basically it's like I guess they're wrote for both editions. Or
Yeah, because
something.
they work in 10th, but they'll work in 11.
They have a 2
Cool.
CP -1 damage. That'll be cool if you do want to play 200-point mutilators. That'll help them out a lot.
-1 damage is strong.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that'll be good. I mean, that's probably really more important for the Terminators. Do you know if the Terminator Lord gives you -1 CP?
Yeah, he does the dark rights.
Okay, well that's actually pretty badass. You got advance and shoot and charge for 1 CP. That's pretty standard for CSM. Like, I wouldn't even look at a detachment that you couldn't do that in. You got sticky objective on the 3 keywords. When you're set up from deep strike, this is anything. When you're set up for deep strike, you can ignore cover.
Yep.
Portal of Spite until the end of the phase each time. Oh, okay, there you go. Well, by God, that makes a lot of sense. This gives you +2 to charge if you charge the closest thing. So, I was wondering why these enhancements were like telling you to make 9-inch charges. I'm like, why do they want you to be bad?
You have the investment to do it with that.
Yeah, with the strat. A 7-inch with a reroll, that's like the upper limit of what I would like want to do. But still,
Yeah, because I think you get close to 70% of that mark.
yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, that's actually a pretty cool detachment. That's pretty cool. I think that Terminator guy, I think we'll get to talk about him. He had a pretty cool data sheet actually. There he is. Craven Morn. He'll be henceforth referred to as something else.
Skaven born.
Skaven. I was thinking Craven Moorhead, but okay, this guy +1 AP when you target the closest thing. That's pretty dope. We don't have next for points. For points, man. Model's hated foe. You get reroll wounds against the hated foe. So this guy's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Dang, we should have got. Too bad we couldn't get. Should have got Kill on. Engaged his reaction to these literal Iron Warriors and Chaos Knight rules.
And the quote unquote potential Bertoravo we'll see.
Oh yeah, they put out the picture of him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mutilators, 200 points. Move 5, T7, 2 up, 5 up, invuln, 5 wounds, 2 OC. They do impact mortals like the Crutox Rampagers, and they
Mhm.
slap. They do big slap. What do you think? Is it too much?
It's okay. I mean, like, I don't think it's too much.
All right. It seems like too much to me, but I don't know, man. I guess coming off of Victrix, I don't know. All right. Let's check out the big nasty. We still don't know what size base this dude's on. The Defiler.
No, dude, he's on a pie plate.
He's on the pipe plate. Oh man, what do you think about the Defiler, Seth? Have you looked at this guy yet?
I have. I don't think he's worth like even involving in the conversation. He's too expensive. He doesn't do what I think most of them want to do. He's too big, and most of the specific like ones that the specific abilities that he does are just too not. They're just not worth it. Like the World Leaders one is probably the worst. If I get a shooter charge or something when it comes in from deep strike, I hit on 4s. Like I just don't. I don't see it making money.
All right. So I touched on the World Leaders one. That is what it does. I think the Death Guard one gives contagion to what it shoots. The Zinch one I think overwatches better, and the Emperor's Children is +1 to hit if the unit is shooting is at full strength. So that's what all of them do. The wound roll, this one can reroll ones to wound, and once per game it can do full wound roll. It's got a lot of cool guns, but yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you would break down what guns you want to take on this thing.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean,
think?
I don't think like most of the baseline equipment for it for what you can give it. Like I think you'll see one of it maybe in like the Vastroid attachments, but I don't see them being particularly relevant beyond that. They're on too big of a base.
Yeah, the only counterpoint I could offer to that would be I think that there might be play with it in EC. I don't know how many, but I mean, there's potential for to get the code rebuffs on it. I think maybe there might be something there, but again, I don't know. I'm not gonna probably test it out. I wouldn't buy it to test it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh wait. I mean, I thought Fulgrim would be good, but he was yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. The more I'm thinking about it. I mean, I think unless the meta changes, I don't think these things could really stand up to Mock-Caw, but I don't know. There's not really I guess a lot that can, but
No, but I think it's kind of a we'll have to see what 11th holds before we get really deep into it. Um I do think like unless you have any other base 40k stuff, I think we move into talking about future 40k stuff and bring Raymond's program into the fold.
yeah, I think we touched on everything. That was the last new thing. We hit all the defilers. That's all.
All
Um
right. Oh,
yeah, let's Raymond, sorry, there was a lot of stuff just happened today.
It's all good.
so let's introduce Raymond. So I'll introduce Raymond. Raymond Fain is a good buddy of mine. Honestly, he was the guy that got me more into competitive 40k when I first got to the South. Um, and if it wasn't for him starting me on that path line, I probably would not end up where I did, winning Cherokee this year. So I'll introduce Raymond on that. He's also a very accomplished player himself with Imperial Knights and Orcs. So he is no slouch fighting across the table as well. So with that, I'll send the tables over to you, Raymond. Tell us what you got.
Well, I appreciate that. That was a great introduction. Humbled. So like Seth was saying, Raymond. My background right now, 25 plus years of programming. and I kind of shifted the last couple of years into artificial intelligence and machine learning. So specifically dealing with the mathematics, all the algorithms behind the scenes, understanding how AI works, and implementing it with data sets to make decision points, and just understanding like what it does. Was accepted last year into Texas A&M for artificial intelligence machine learning specific for my grad program. And so, yeah, about almost a year now on board with them, just grinding away. And so, what I did was a couple years back, I started on this path of trying to understand how to implement AI into our game of 40K. And so, the first slide that I had, I don't know if you can pull that up. Basically, this is my first rendition of what I think AI is going to help facilitate, like what Warhammer is going to look like for the future. And really, really interesting. Like it's going to be awesome to see 11th edition, because then I can start tweaking the rule sets and really see how it goes before everyone takes off on playing Warhammer. And so the big thing is the goal was how do I build AI, or how do I make it think logically to play 40K. And what we're looking at is basically a component system. I use something called the Monte Carlo tree search, which is a specific algorithm that basically goes through different nodes in this tree hierarchy, and it updates its values and its estimates based on previous looking games. And it almost plays a full-fledged game in each node, so that it can figure out like where it's going and where it's at. And I'll get more in depth with the other slides. But yeah, basically, I was inspired by DeepMind's AlphaZero, and so AlphaZero is the pinnacle of what chess engines can do. Um, I don't know if you guys have ever played chess in that manner or are familiar with Stockfish.
Yeah, I am. I've played a lot of competitive chess before I got into competitive 40K. I used to have just a sub 1600 rating.
Yep. So Stockfish, what kind of came on scene after IBM's Deep Blue, and it kind of set the scene for what chess engines could do. And notably, it took lots of data, which were all the games, could figure out what it was doing, and it would go through and figure out the best moves, and it would instruct players to be like, "Hey, this is how we kind of play chess. This is how I evaluate the position." And so Stockfish was like the highest rated chess engine on the market, and it'd been like that for almost a decade plus. And then fast forward to not too long ago, DeepMind came out and was like, "Hey, we're introducing this new thing called AlphaZero." And so the way they tackled it was the AI has no conception of what chess is. It only has rule sets, and it learned to play by itself and reinforce that learning by playing against itself multiple iterations. So not only did it learn to play chess, but it learned to play it at an accelerated rate, and it was beating Stockfish at the end of the day, which is phenomenal. So basically, that was how I took the approach on what Warhammer Zero is. And then I don't know if we can go to the second slide,
We're
but
having
the
a little technical difficulties, but we're getting there.
oh, I can wait a second. Yeah, just let me know when you're good.
This is the first time using PowerPoint on a Mac. Okay, so you want the
Oh,
second slide. Here we go.
yep.
You got it, brother.
All right, so this one is just talking about like why Warhammer is hard, right? So fundamentally different than traditional AI benchmarks. We're looking at chess and the game Go, which is a really bigger finite version of chess, but they're really hard. So the first challenge I had to tackle was how do I take this massive action space, the complicated rules where every unit can attack or move slash they don't move. Do they interact with multiple rules because you have stratagems, player army rules? You're looking at like a huge, vast, what I call action space. And so the first challenge was just tackling that in a concrete manner. And so looking at what I said before, the Monte Carlo tree search, and encoding all those actions. But as I progressed, I was like, all right, how do I make them, look at how do I make it look at the game a little bit differently? And so what I realized was the spatial reasoning and we'll say our logical thought process of like I understand these moves. I didn't have to worry about any of that, right? So what I was doing was I took the Monte Carlo tree search with the neural networks and I implemented all the rule sets into it. and this is simplified right now. But it was able to basically figure out, how do the units move, what was I doing, and then from an AI's perspective, from its perspective, we're looking at like the high dimensions of like, all right, our decision space is ultimately, difficult to model, but it was able to kind of play through those parts, so it optimized itself for victory points, because ultimately that's what we're trying to beat, right? We're trying to maximize our victory points over our opponents, and so it's learning all that stuff. It introduces its own long-term planning and basically, our trade-offs that we understand. You want to go to the third slide?
Yes, self-learning AI.
Yep. So this is just a quick little, snapshot of, again, what does that look like? Everyone's kind of used to the AI GPTs at this point, right? Everyone understands large language models. Everyone uses Chat GPT. They use it for everything. AI in itself is a big umbrella of stuff, and Chat GPT, we'll say Claude, GPTs, LLMs, that's a small sliver of the overall arching of what AI is, and it's one of the weakest versions of AI. That being said, it's nested under what we call supervised learning. So we have to instruct it, we have to train it based on data. What I've done with the self learning AI is a different branch of AI called unsupervised reinforcement learning. And so what I've done was, there are no like rules engine per se. There's a rule set it has to follow, but I don't tell it how to move. I don't tell it any of that stuff. And it learns through the self play first. And so basically, what you're looking at is a couple hours of training. So it kind of figures things out. And then it uses, like I said, that Monte Carlo tree search. And why that one I keep saying, because that's what like the main algorithm uses. And then the neural networks just basically evaluate the position. Is this good? Have I visited this before? How do I update myself? That's where the meat and potatoes are. And then you're looking at how does it improve itself through iteration, and then it does that cycle over and over again. So the play, evaluate, learn, repeat type of thing.
So hold on a
And
second here.
yep.
Um, so do you have to feed the rules into this thing, or can it learn the rules on its own?
So I give it left and right limits. So like, say for instance, you have the coherency rule. It says you can't move these models outside of coherency. If you do, these are the bad things that happen, consequences. When I program it in Python, I have to explicitly say you can't move these models outside of coherency, but here's your left and right limits for moving. And so it learns, like, okay, through repetition, it will attempt to move models out of coherency, but my kickback will basically say it's not allowed. Try again, and it's going to figure out like, okay, I need to keep the models within coherency, and then this is how I move them forward or backwards or whatever it wants to do. So the rule set is part of the AI design. However, anything outside of that, I'm not touching, I'm not dealing with it, and I'm not letting it know like anything about it. Even shooting, for instance, is one of those things where um, in 40K we say, you got max range, half distances because of rules, things like that. It doesn't know any of that, and it's just going to attempt to just fumble around. Once the once that reward starts to kick in, and it starts to figure out, oh, I'm getting rewarded for grabbing this objective, right? And then I'm getting rewarded more when I earn the most victory points out of these matches. It's starting to actually use the neural network to solve and be like, oh, these are good when I move these guys up behind cover and then shoot the unit that's coming in to try to grab the objective later, instead of just walking my dudes up the board. And so that's essentially what we're doing. The rule set, though, it's got to be implemented somewhat, which is kind of the hard part, and I'll explain that in the next slide. But yeah, it's not a implicit, like deterministic, like I'm telling it has to move these guys in a certain way to do this stuff. The rule set's there, but it's not it's not a
Well,
deterministic thing that it has to do.
let me
Yep.
ask you this. Um, so you're saying you could be playing in a 40K AI, because I know in one of the slides you mentioned, just jump ahead a little bit, that
Yep.
this might work for TTS, but you're saying the AI might try to like get one over on you? He might like be
No,
like, I'm not gonna do cohesion today, or nothing like that.
no, it won't be able to right now. And the reason why is because, like I said, the rule set is built in. So it will attempt it, and then it will return an error saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to do this. Try it again." And it'll continue looking for actions that are possible. However, it's learning what those possible actions are through its own play style, if
So
that makes sense.
how much work is it, or how long does it take for it to learn? Is this something that happens overnight, or this something that
Well,
takes
if
like,
you wanna go to the next one, the next slide. So the technical architecture.
uh,
So these three, actually, sorry, let's go one more. We'll skip that one. We'll go to the fifth slide. It talks about current capabilities and beyond Warhammer. So this right here is the snapshot you're asking. So it takes roughly 2 hours of training right now for the self play, meaning it's going to go through its own version of how it's going to figure out how to play, and those policies will update. So there's estimates and policies, and it's learning through all this stuff. It's figuring it all out.
mhm,
Once that self play is done, it will start to execute what I call the arena pit. And so what I've done was I've taken the saved version of AI, which are weights, hyperparameters of weights, and it will pit it against itself to play that match now. So it's two versions of it. And once whoever outcome is, so say if the enemy beats it, it'll determine why did the enemy beat me, and it'll kind of refine itself. But it's not gonna do it in real time. And then once it's played itself the first time, it's going to go into a second version of it. So Arena 2, and then it'll play itself again. So you're looking at 2 hours for self play, 2 hours for the first arena, 2 hours for the second arena. So you get a rough estimate about 6 hours. Within that, I do this 10 iterations. So you're looking at about 60 hours of training on this first iteration of the Warhammer AI. And 60 hours gave me, and what you can see is that little diagram. It's kind of playing itself right now. I don't know if it's, oh, you got to click the play button. You can, this is a snapshot of as actual game playing on the simplistic rule set that I made for it.
okay,
And
so
so what you're going to see, yeah, so you're gonna see little dots moving around. In the middle was like the terrain with an objective in the middle. So you can't really see the objective because the way I've rendered this is a very rudimentary way of rendering something top down. But yeah, basically what you're seeing is a snapshot in one of its games in one of its iterations, basically playing against itself, and you can see like the units are moving around, and they're dropping off, and then in future iterations they actually go into close combat. So they do the charge phase, they will fight, and so it's pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see, but I haven't refined like the visual aspect just yet because I have to play through a couple things first. But yeah, it was roughly 60 hours to get this thing done the first time, and it does play for the victory points. And so later on, I'll be able to share that stuff with you guys through Discord. But basically, it's
all right,
it was
so
learning how to move it was learning how to move the models and do all the things it's supposed to.
so you got 3 stages here, and right now you're only in the first stage right now. Is that
No, this is about the second stage.
we're in the second stage now?
Yeah, it's already past a lot of that stuff. So what I've done was the this project started back in the end of 2024, and it took me about a year of just like fiddling with stuff because I had read the article from DeepMind and how they did it.
Mhm.
But it wasn't until I started my grad program when I started to actually understand, like, oh, this is what these things mean. Let me go back and redo my programming basically. And what I did was I had to basically fine tune a few things with like the movement phase. So as you can see there's a bunch of little squares, right? Those are 1 inch by 1 inch squares. And what I do is I encode each square um, based on data. And if you want to go back to one slide where it talks about the technical architecture, that second part where it talks about state encoding is really key to this. What I have to do is I have to create what they call a multi-channel tensor, which is the information that's going to be fed into the neural network. And the neural network obviously only takes bits of information in like an array so that it can do all of its, vector array. So like linear algebra. So it's producing everything based on linear algebra to figure out what the output's going to be. So what I did was I calculated each 1-inch square and I created these arrays and I encoded the arrays to do like to have that data. So your guys that are on there, the unit types, we'll say the health, the wounds, whatever. It's got all this information that's packed into that one square, and then it's passed through the neural network. So it's a little bit more fine tuned as far as space goes. But
So what's the goal with this thing? Is it just is it like a chess computer where it'll tell you, where maybe in the future you could put your list in versus someone else's list and it would like tell you how to win the game, or like tell you
correct.
the perfect or like it would tell you the most optimal moves?
It will act a lot like the chess engines at that point. Yes, you will be able to see real time, armies pitted against each other, the different stratagems, the different enhancements, different list types at some point, what the deployments would look like at certain stages, and we talk about team, tournaments where everyone's kind of like, I have a math equation that shows, what my list is won against. So I'm going to be pairing certain things up for those team events to try to, get the best matches out of it. It'll essentially be able to do a lot of that plus more. And yeah, my goal was realistically was, how could I create this AI engine to play Warhammer, because it's a complex environment, and so far I've achieved it, but obviously I want to refine it and make it a little bit better. And I would love to see people play against it. Um,
Is
it's
this
kind of like chess.
yeah, how far till you could like deliver like a product or an app or something, or a website? Like, what's the time frames?
Based on schoolwork right now, and obviously I'm in the Army doing the Sergeant Major Academy. My extra time available to actually developing this is sporadic throughout the week. And like I said, it took 60 hours to train this first one, and that's with simplified rules. So an estimated time, it's going to take us, a couple months to actually get a bigger project. But my next step that I'm working on right now, and I've worked on this week, is implementing the controls for Tabletop Simulator to be used. So basically, I'll write the API and the plugin, so you can take the agent, which is just a bunch of weights and stuff, and you'll be able to plug it into Tabletop, and through the Lua, which is like the script type that it uses, you'll be able to play. It'll hook up to my agent, which will be hosted online like a cloud base, and you'll be able to play something. Will it be able to play all the rules off the bat? No, it's not going to. That's gonna be the longest part, is implementing every single rule and training it once it's implemented, because the training aspect timeline is based on how much rules I have implemented into it. So the 60 hours, what you see is you get the main phases, right? So it does the command phase, it does the movement phase, it goes into the shooting, it does those. And then inside those phases, we'll call them substeps. Those substeps are very limited. So when it goes in the shooting phase, it knows to pick a unit and shoot its weapons. However, when it comes to like split fire, and we'll say we have different weapon types to choose from and just all the different things, I don't have those extra rules implemented yet. So that would basically make the training just extend further.
Okay, so like in the future when this is more refined and it's functional, how much work is it going to be for you when like a new codex is added to the mix, or an addition? We'll just skip
That'll
addition
be,
change, but
yeah, that'll be the hard part. I don't have like we'll say if I create the rule set and I've hard coded it in within Python, I would have to figure out a way to allow those changes to be made. And when the training happens, it utilizes some kind of subset it pulls from, which there are methods to do it. Um, I'm not there yet when it comes to just, trying to think that far ahead. Just getting it to work the first time was amazing,
yeah.
because, like I said, it took me a couple years to get to this point. And this one is like the the piece that actually made, like, I saw it working and I saw it actually doing this stuff, and I was like, sweet. But yeah, I would have to develop or redesign the overall piece to allow someone to be like, I'm going to update this subset, the set or the rule set, um, before it gets to training itself. And then we'll say realistically, if this does become a bigger project, I would have to get another machine. So my GPU and my CPU right now are utilized through the AI training process. Um, AI typically uses GPU through Python, which is called NumPy, and that's what it's used to actually start the training. But if I want to actually do this dedicated piece, I have to look at a whole new rig, have that rig dedicated, set everything up, reprogram it, retrain it, just like any other AI model, and then have it played. So
Can you
yeah,
can
that's
you
something.
can you explain it to us? Um, just give us a really quick QRD as if you were telling a small child what this was gonna do.
Yeah, so basically, the AI model will allow you to play against a really good version of your opponent, kind of like a chess engine would. So you can practice against it. You could see what maybe things you've messed up on, and ultimately, you could play over the table, utilizing this AI model to play Warhammer at some point. But it solves complex issues in a complex space. So yeah, you're just looking at playing an AI model of Warhammer over whatever means you want. So
It sounds really badass, man. I mean, that's a commendable work that you're doing to get us there. I don't know how. I think this would be cool, but I could see some people not liking this. But I mean, it's gonna happen in the future no matter what. So
yeah.
might as well get on board.
Yeah, if you want to drop it to the last slide, everyone can kind of see some actual results and what some of the code looks like. On the left side, I detail all my outputs so that I can read them, kind of understand them. And what you see is the sub steps of what the AI is doing. And so you can see there are parts of it where it's like, oh, I need to do these things and I want to, look at it this way. And so what you get is um, the player turns. You're looking at what it's doing for the objectives, the victory points it's earning, and kind of plays through. And then on the right side is some of my Python code. Like I said, most AI models nowadays written in Python, pretty straightforward. And a lot of the stuff you can actually train at home. You get like a data set, figure out what kind of AI model you want to use, like linear regression or something, and then you plug away and you sit there and make your own AI model. So the concepts are can be hard, but a lot of people can actually do this on their own time. It's just a matter of putting everything together. Like I said, this is a big 3-step process to make this work. But
What's your long
yeah,
term goal with it?
I would like to refine it out so it's an actual playable entity, and I just want to see what it can do. It's not a guarantee that it's going to prove that Warhammer is not being played at the highest level. For instance, we'll look at Monopoly, right? Monopoly is a very finite board state. There's only so many places you can go on the board, right? There's only a couple dice rolls you do. Someone developed a Monopoly AI engine, and it basically showed that the players of Monopoly were already doing the best things that they could possibly do. So they couldn't go any further with it. So it was a cool project. They did it, showed, they're done. But with Warhammer, I don't know. Maybe there's still things that we're missing, kind of like chess. Or it could show that what we're doing now, all the top players are already playing at the best level they can. So, but I won't know until I get there and kind of refine the model and add in the rule sets and everything else. So, and then this will translate from my grad program, like I said, to the military complex. So I've been in talk, and a lot of organizations have been emailing me on just reinforcement learning in general. And this is kind of the next step right now. The military and the army have already they've got a lot of resources and a lot of different capabilities, but the one thing they're lacking is some kind of way to develop what the future fight looks like. And this is kind of my baby in a sense of I can train for the future fight without actually knowing what the future fight is, if that makes sense.
So it works for toys and real life.
Yep. Yeah. So
That's
I'm excited to show something in the future a little bit more than what I have here on the slides, just because the visuals aren't there yet. But between the slide number 5 and slide number 6, you guys can see that snapshot of it playing itself and it's learning based on the the simplified rule set I gave it. So
yeah. Let me see. Make it make that video real big or make it real big. But yeah, man. Well, this is really cool. This is yeah. It's just playing. I just blew that one slide up, and this is just showing
okay.
the models. I guess they're shooting. I guess when they're shooting, they're disappearing.
Yep. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
have to add some stuff in there just so people could see a little bit better for future. I've already got a lot of feedback on it from folks that do play Warhammer, or don't play Warhammer, and they're like, "Oh, I'd like to see this." But realistically, eventually, there's going to be some kind of plugin for tabletop or Vassal, the top-down 40K tool set, and you'd be able to give it a run, just mess with it. So the hard part, like I said, just expanding the rule set and then training. Training takes a lot of time for a lot of this stuff. In fact, a lot of my work I do with Texas A&M, when I get my tests or my homework, I'm spending several hours just fine tuning the hyperparameters. And so, like, I'll code everything out. The AI model looks great for whatever the assignment was. But when I build it on my machine and then I send it to Texas A&M's cloud to get it evaluated, the AI model fails, and so it's not as good as it should be because my hyperparameters are not fine tuned for their hardware. And so I'm like sitting there back and forth, like trying to figure everything out, and then I'll resend all my updated weights, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So, but yeah, this is what like right now it's realistically the first Warhammer AI model, and that I can see. I don't see anybody else with anything, and so I've nicknamed it Warhammer Zero, obviously after Alpha Zero because of the way it's built. So, but yeah, it's an unsupervised, reinforced, self-learning AI model. So,
Well, by God, that sounds. It sounds like it's gonna be really kick ass when you get done with it.
yeah. So I'm pretty excited. We'll see if it catches on. Like I said, I got a lot of people hitting me up on it already. It's just there's so much stuff like technical aspect to it, and for the most part, people don't really care about the technical aspect. They just want to see the final result. So getting to
Yeah.
the final result that's fully playable, it's gonna take a little bit, but yep.
Just tell us what the most perfect list is in the game, basically.
Right.
Golly, man, AI is it's gonna break the game.
You go to ATC, you're gonna need these 5 lists.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the end state we're expecting, in my opinion.
Yeah, the base ATC list.
That could be huge for the like balance team if they would utilize something like that to where
Yeah, the potentials of it later would be basically allowing the tuning of rules, right? So right now we're in a state where 40K for years have been, some of the newer models have come out. We'll say they're a little good, and obviously they're selling the models, and then we start getting like the FAQs that kind of balance stuff. This version or this AI model at some point could just basically say, hey, these are what balance rules would look like if we take this different approach. And so it's not out of its scope to, for the realm of possibility to be able to do that. But if GW ever wants to go that route, I don't think they do, because I think making money is a little bit more important than, having fully balanced rules. So
yeah. Well, they gotta make
Yeah, I
well they
mean,
got
I wish that they would use something like this to give a more machine approach, to give a more neutral game, but I know that's not going to entirely happen. And we will probably expect to see, uh, kind of what we've seen, an inconsistency in rules right now.
yeah. Yeah, the AI side, I mean, there's so much there's so many things going on with AI, and so once I got into it, the first thing I thought about was Warhammer. I was like, how could I do AI? How could I build AI for Warhammer? And then immediately I realized, no wonder no one's done it. In fact, I've only seen one article online that actually talked a little bit about what they would do for AI, but they
Makes
never substantially made anything, right? They just kind of talked about it and that was it. Um, and so this was like the first move, like, how do I do this? But um, I can't take all the credit because the people over at DeepMind that created Alpha Zero, their hard work and like their detailed article. It doesn't give you like I guess it doesn't give you the answers as far as programming goes. So I had to do a lot of that on my own. But their ideas of like using the MCTS and the neural networks and combining all that, I was like, oh, I get that. Let me tackle that. So it works really well. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, it's badass. I hope you're real successful with it. I hope you come back on here in 2 or 3 years and where you'll be the godfather of it.
do it. I believe in you.
Yeah. We'll be like
Every day is a little update.
some people would hate you, but I think it would be really cool because it'll be like we have the guy. You're like the first tech priest.
Using abominable intelligences.
Yeah. He's a Votan. Just call him a Votan.
But yeah, if you guys have any more questions, that's basically the summary of all this. What you're seeing is, yeah, literally the first Warhammer AI model that can play without being told how to play. So it learned it by itself.
Yeah, that's
We're only
badass,
getting
man.
started. We're only getting started. That's the crazy thing.
That's what I'm saying, man. This is gonna be a huge.
Yeah,
That's
huge.
awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Have you considered, just a random question, have you considered doing something like a crowdfunding or anything for this?
No, not currently. Since I'm still active duty army, I don't mess with anything like that. And to be honest, I don't know what my timeline is going to look like once I get to my next place. I go to the old guard next in June after I graduate, and with the amount of people that have been sending me emails through like the army systems, a lot of people are interested in just talking about AI in general. But my next big, fingers crossed I do. I might be able to work in the IGAR system, which is a dedicated system in the Pentagon that deals with all Inspector General records. And I might be able to work on their system to basically create an AI GPT or AI model that will help facilitate cases for IGs in the field. So if they allow me to do that, then I'll be working that full time basically outside of my normal job as an OpStar major once I get to the old guard. So I'm in contact with HQDA as far as like if the new AI machine learning field gets opened and I get a chance to move over to that, I will. But yeah, we'll see. Everything's kind of up in the air at this moment as I transition. So, but right now it's just networking and doing this on the side along with normal schoolwork. So, but yeah,
All right,
no
man.
crowdfunding, nothing crazy like that yet. I don't need anything yet. So the
All right.
biggest thing is just getting it to work. Like it's done now for the most part. Now I just got to start grinding away and getting some rules implemented. But with 11th edition coming out, maybe I take a tactical pause and wait to see some rules because that would suck if I spend all these hours. I start training and this thing takes. We'll say like it's crazy. Like it's such small amounts of rules. Like the simplified rules I put in there, and it took 60 hours for it to train, and it's not even the best version yet, right? So I don't even know how long this thing is going to train for before it's done. Once all the rules are implemented.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be worth it, I would say, for sure.
As long as I
Okay.
don't do what I did the first time. I ran out of RAM. 64 gigabytes. That thing was sucked up in a second. I was like, oh, messed that up.
And
Mm.
you're not an officer?
No, I'm about to be a star major, and I'm in the infantry.
My God. You're like a paragon. You might
Hey,
you might
people
be
I confuse a lot of people. They're like, "Are you Intel? Are you Signal?" I'm like, "No, I'm infantry. I jump out of planes." They're like, "Oh crap!" I was like, "Yeah,
You might be the smartest NCO I've ever met, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you." No, there's a lot of smart dudes out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, but I never ran into them. I'm sure they're out there. All
Yeah,
right, guys.
just been
Well,
right place, right time. But I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me come on. And Seth, thank you so much for that kind introduction.
Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate you.
all right, guys. Seth, you want to do your coaching plugs, brother?
Yeah, so I offer competitive 40K coaching. I do everything from list construction, deployment types to actual games. And then on top of that, we are also sponsored by Billy's Beaver Removal, where you can come get any pest animals in South Carolina removed. We also have 4GS as a sponsor. They do family-friendly wargaming here in uh, Augusta. Yep. We have a GT on the 18th and 19th. Yeah, I was going to say Benny for the longest time. Spent too much time there. Never ends. But yeah, those are our sponsors. Hit us up. You want any coaching? I'm free. I do TTS games and coach you wherever you are in the world. Back to you, Justin.
That's right. Speaking of 4GS, we got a GT there on April the 18th.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep, we got a little bit more spots for that one. So if you're in the area, come check it out. Otherwise, yeah, man, I think that's everything. That was a long one. We had I may try to clip this video. I may try to clip it and just post the AI separate for people because that was pretty interesting.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
We could have
Yeah, I can go in so much with it. I try to keep the wave tops as much as possible. I love it. It's my passion. So
that's
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
cool. I mean,
like I was saying, we use complex AI for a lot of question stuff in the Intel field, which is why I'm not surprised that anyone that works in the Intel field would be like, "Oh, are you Intel?" Because that's very much like an Intel thing we see right now. And then we have two of the guys here in Georgia, in Augusta, that are working on the new AI programs for the Army.
I'm gonna have to
all
see
right.
what they're doing after I get a hold of that colonel. Talk to him a little bit.
Which one?
The one that works at the CAC.
Okay, yeah, because we have Colonel Fearnow here. She Fullbird. She works with. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live.
Yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
unlive?
yeah,
I was like,
yeah. We work with we do a lot of learning
all right,
AI programs for
goodbye,
intelligence
people.
review.
Bye, everybody.
No,
Bye.
nothing I was gonna say. No, we got